Well, I'm pretty much ready to go for the ChampCar race at Barber this weekend. Just waiting for somebody to come pick me up and give me a ride to Alabama. Guys take it way more seriously. They got a diesel dually with an enclosed trailer, and look at us, our little freaking V6 F-150 open trailer,
single axle.
Oh, we're showing 80% of rain Saturday, 60% Sunday. That thing's crazy. Oh, there's Jakes.
Remember, Barber has track cameras. We can see you. Fueling. Listen up and listen well. Any fuel spilling down pit road out of your car.
Last place, buddy.
First place tomorrow.
Yeah.
You will be black flag.
All right, we're out here at Barber Motorsports Park. It is a really, really beautiful track. I was not expecting it to be so manicured and pretty and well maintained, and the facility is really nice. We just found out that we are starting dead last today, which means tomorrow we are starting at the very front of the pack. Rainy conditions, spotty rain today, and not sure about tomorrow, but Dave's starting for us, so he should have a pretty easy time of things bringing up the rear. I'm really excited. going through your head, you have not raced a car before, right?
Correct.
But you've raced motorcycles here at Barber?
Yes.
All right, so like what are you thinking about right now?
I'm thinking about how it's surreal that I'm at the track, but nothing feels familiar for some reason.
Interesting.
And I'm just interested to see how the car is different from a go-kart. I'm hoping that within a few laps I got it mostly figured out.
Yeah, right on. Cool. As you can see, Dave was really struggling for grip out there. Even though it wasn't rainy, the track was still wet from the night before. And it wasn't too far into his stint before it started to rain. So just not ideal conditions. And I think in that first stint, Dave had trouble finding confidence, but he really did do a good job of working his way up through the field. And of course, plenty of other racers took themselves out, so that made his job a little bit easier. As the field starts to catch up with you and the faster cars start to lap you, it puts you in a position where you need to, give them room, and a lot of times that means moving off your line or slowing down. And the Miata is such a momentum car that if you lose speed, coming out of a corner because you're letting somebody by, it can really mess up the remainder of that entire complex for you. So that was an area where I think all of us kind of struggled to hang on to our lap times. All right, so going into turn one here, I think we see the first evidence that somebody has dropped oil around the entire track. Not going to name any names, but it might have been an orange Mitsubishi Eclipse. There were two of them out there, and you see Dave just went wide. And it's not long before I think we see a car that has spun off the track. Yeah, here it is. And Dave was reporting that there was oil all over. So this started a really, unfortunate situation where they had to clean the track. Before they did, though, Dave came in to have us lower the pressure in his tires to see if he could maybe get a little bit more grip and maybe start building up the heat. This was a caution period anyway, so we didn't end up losing any significant time by bringing him in. And we just barely pulled it off because if you watch in the rearview mirror, there's the pace car. So Dave gets out just in front of the pace car, and so we didn't end up going a lap down from that stop. this is such a bummer. It's 10:30. Dave's been out of the car for half an hour. Yeah, they're cleaning up the oil on the track. They brought all the cars in, black flag the session, and we don't have any idea when we're gonna go back out. So Dave's stint's over. He said he was getting car sick. He said it was super sketchy and slidey. He had a couple of moments where he almost lost the car, not even going that fast. So we're just, our team is cursed with rainy races, like every single time. I don't know. Not exactly what we were hoping for, but hopefully things will go green soon. You all right, Dave? I just told the guys the most amazing story. Just a little funny thing I saw on Twitter. Okay, it is 11:02 and we are starting again. They've got the oil cleaned up. It just started raining again a little bit. The wind's blowing pretty hard though, so maybe the track will dry out. Not sure. It's also getting a little colder. I think a cold front's moving through.
All right, clear pit road, clear pit road. Clear the wall, clear the wall.
So yeah, John's going in. This is going to be his first time driving this car, first time racing a car on track. Hopefully he'll do well. I know the feeling. It's going to be a lot of fun for him, I'm sure.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So John is our guest driver. He has driven endurance karts with a couple other guys on the team. He's standing in for Richard, who could not be at Barber. He's raced karts, he's raced motorcycles, never raced cars before this race, and of course he gets sent out in the rain. Overall, I thought he did a really fantastic job on his stint. Got up to speed pretty quickly, and watching his footage, he did a great job. He found the line, no problem. Figured out what the car could do, and he even pushed the limits just a little bit. It's worth pointing out, he didn't stall it. He immediately got back underway. He hardly lost any time on that. He probably didn't even need to tell us that it happened. Okay, the time is 12:38. John has been out for an hour and 33 minutes. So at this point, we're gonna wait for another caution to bring him in. Then Justin will go out, and then he'll do hour and 45 minutes or so, and then it'll be my turn. So far, John said that he had one little spin. We're not sure how extensive it was, but looking forward to seeing the video of it. But the car is fully intact, no problem. So, and we're in, what place are we in? Anybody know? We're in 30th overall out of like roughly 65 cars. So just kind of, we're playing tortoise and the hare out there right now. So unfortunately, as John's stint went on, the conditions got really bad, and on top of that, the windshield started fogging up, so he had a bunch of laps with just really, really bad visibility. I felt bad for him. I mean, it's hard enough to drive out there when it's so slippery, but when you can't see either, just makes it that much worse. All right, John just came in from his stint. It's 1:03, so he was out there for almost exactly 2 hours. John, how was it?
Sketchier than frig.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had a moment, right? A little,
I had more than one moment.
some oopsies?
Yeah, I had some oopsies.
Did you go off at all?
No, I had one spin, turn one.
Full spin?
No, sideways, and then
Okay.
and then everything else. Once the rain started getting harder, it got not fun.
Right on.
Couldn't see anything. Fog.
Oh yeah, the windshield fogged up.
For that, and then the spray on the straights.
You just couldn't
People
see.
were braking super early, so you couldn't make a move on anybody.
Right.
And they're just like parade laps.
Wow. So what do you think? Are you gonna want to do it again tomorrow?
Not in the rain.
So here we are with Justin's stint, and you know, honestly, it's the least eventful stint of the race. I think he might have had less cautions than everybody else, and the conditions were just kind of bad the whole time. So he was out there just busting out decent laps. I know he felt kind of hard on himself afterwards, and felt like he wished he could have pushed harder, but it's easy to say that. It's hard to do it when you're out there and it's a new track and you're trying to get used to the new setup on the car. So I was really impressed. You know, Justin was very consistent, didn't have any incidents, and you know, ended up moving the car up at least a couple of positions during his stint, I think. It's almost 2:30, which means that my stint's going to start in about 15 minutes. Justin seems to be doing fine out there. We're maintaining 28th place, and unless, you know, people drop out of the race, we'll probably stay right around in that position. And my stint will be about an hour 45. It hasn't been raining for the last 10 minutes or so, but it's really spotty. I think waves of rain are coming through. So in all likelihood, I'm going to see a bunch of rain in my stint too, which is fine. So I'm going to suit up and get ready to get out there. Remember, like a lot of the guys on the team, this was my first time ever driving this car on this track. I'd never been to Barber before. I'd never even been to Alabama before. So I was really trying to, you know, figure things out. I did a ton of practice in iRacing, and so I really understood the track layout, but it just doesn't prepare you
for kind of figuring out the braking zones, and I'm just not comfortable with this car in the rain. The new tires that we had on it just felt like roller skate wheels. They gave you a lot of feedback. You could tell what was happening, but it just felt like they didn't have any grip. And so, especially in the early going, I found myself sliding around, and especially coming out of the hairpin, I would start to lose the rear end, but there were other times I would slide as well. It really wasn't a lot of fun at first. This is about the point where I start reaching for my radio connection, because in our haste during my pit stop, we forgot to hook up the radio, so I had no comms with the team. And of course, I start sliding the car as I'm getting distracted by other stuff. We were trying to see if I could finish the race without putting fuel in the car. So during my pit stop, we did not put in fuel. We were hoping that the fuel for Justin's stint would last to the very end of the race. Didn't end up working out, but it didn't really cost us any time. But yeah, one of the side effects was I didn't have any comms with the team. Oh, and here's Jake in that black Miata. He was one of my Primal Racing instructors, so gave him a wave. He gave me a wave back. That was kind of fun. Those guys had a really fast car. Jake is a super quick driver. Well, this is going to be my fastest lap of the race. It ended up being a 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and that's even with a little bit of traffic. So I was obviously building some confidence and gaining some speed. But then, of course, as the conditions changed, that almost got me in some trouble, because you start pushing harder and then you start making mistakes when the grip level changes. And that's really one of the hardest things about driving in the rain, is it's not constant. If it was a constant level of water on the track, you could eventually figure it out. But usually you're dealing with the rain's on for a while, then it's off for a while, the track dries a little bit, whatever, or you're taking a different line to pass somebody or to be passed by somebody, and then there's different grip conditions on different parts of the track. Very challenging, and I know there are people out there who are really good at it. I'm not good at it, even though I've done probably hundreds of race laps in the rain. I'm not really sure what the best path forward is to get better, but I think the reality is that these races are often rainy, so I'm just going to have to deal with it. in this next lap, I've already had a couple of moments, and it's just because the conditions are changing combined with I'm getting more confident and pushing harder. By the way, I just passed the Trump Stang, and the Trump Stang is going to feature prominently in tomorrow's video. We call it the Trump Stang because it had a bunch of Trump bumper stickers on it. It was pretty funny. During this next section, keep an eye on the Boxster that's in my rear view mirror. I can't tell if my team members are in our pit box, and I'm trying to signal to them that I'm going to need to come in for fuel. There was about half an hour left in the race, and my needle was below the E, so I didn't think there was any chance I was going to make it to the end.
Radio or you need gas?
Gas and the radio.
Okay, gas. Gas.
Gas.
Gas.
Wristband, bud.
Sorry.
No worries. I got you. Thanks, your glove. Did y'all take fuel?
We did, yeah.
Okay, you've got like a minute.
Okay. You want me to pull up?
No.
Okay.
You're good. There's nobody on pit road.
Alrighty. How's your day going?
Well, if you could like make it not rain tomorrow, that'd be wonderful.
And maybe if there wasn't oil all over the track.
I know, no shit, right?
Crazy.
We need to thank
Gas.
that.
This is our 4th race. Every single one it's rained.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, it snowed at Road Atlanta. Technically not rain.
Yeah, that one's an odd one. Yeah. I got rear-ended in that one.
Oh no.
Yeah, I
What
was
were
a
you
pace car
driving?
driver. My car got rear-ended.
The safety car?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my
slid
goodness.
right into me. I was like, you dumbass.
All right, watch Trump staying here. So as he comes onto the front straight, he loses the rear a little bit. I have to back out of it, and he's able to get back on power. And this really illustrates the differences between the two types of cars. He was so far gone from me going down the straight. Meanwhile, I lost a ton of time, but not to worry. Going into the hairpin, I got him back. See you next time, Trump staying. Those of you who watched the video I did from our last ChampCar race at Atlanta Motorsports Park might recognize the blue Mustang up ahead. In that race, there were some issues with me where I could catch him through the twisty stuff, but he'd pull away on the straights. In this race, maybe they had the car set up differently or they were more comfortable with it, but they were incredibly fast. So the fact that I'm catching up with him a little bit here goes to show how bad conditions had got. They were really backing out of it. In fact, on the front straightaway, you could feel the car when you're just going in a straight line hydroplaning. That is not a fun feeling.
just got out of the car, finished the race, took the checkered flag for the first time ever with me as a driver. Man, there's just no grip out there. I think part of it might be the tires that we picked. I don't know, but the back end just wanted to come out all over the place. It just felt like you're going so slow. And then at the very end, the conditions got really bad for a while. And it was pretty scary. There was a moment where I thought I was going to catch that blue Mustang and pass him. And I almost went for it. And then I decided I would rather not crash the car on with 2 laps to go in the race. But, man, would have been better if it was dry, but I had a lot of fun. I felt like I was a lot more comfortable pushing the car a little harder when it was wet and catching it when it would oversteer, and getting out of the throttle when it would understeer. So I was finding the limits more than I normally would in the wet. But it was just kind of surprising that the car didn't have as much grip as I thought it should. Anyway, it was a good day. What did we finish, Dave? Do you know? 25th overall out of 65 cars. Not bad.
That was a very respectable result. I cannot complain. If you want to see Sunday's race, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. There's a really awesome battle at the end of that race. You don't want to miss it. See you next time.
Next level.